to the Real Contrast.
I'm Kyle A.
I'm Brian King.
All right, well, my quote today is, it's hard to fly like an eagle when you're soaring with turkeys.
Boom, shakalaka. I love it. Let's be some eagles.
Yeah.
All right, so all the turkeys, go ahead and hit stop, and we don't want you on our
No,
podcast.
it's not even saying that. It's just sometimes turkeys got to learn to fly with the eagles.
I think it's saying that you're some of the 5 people you surround yourself with.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if 4 of them are turkeys, it's going to be real hard to be an eagle.
Well, yeah. Unless you are an eagle and... Well, I'm not even going to go there because I already messed that up. I don't know where I'm going.
If you're a turkey and you surround yourself with 4 eagles, you're going to be a very successful turkey.
Turkeys taste good. Yeah.
What's your favorite Thanksgiving side dish?
Oh, it's not even Thanksgiving, but I'd have to say green bean casserole. Homemade green bean casserole with fresh Gouda in it.
Oh
yeah, I got cheese in
nice.
it. And then you don't buy the onions you don't buy the Franz onions. You actually make your own. You fry up your own onions.
Wow.
Yeah.
Next level.
Yeah, yummy. Or maybe you could just do onion rings on top of it.
Oh, all right. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're in Thanksgiving, and
yeah, we're in Thanksgiving in the middle of June.
Not that. Okay.
It's not even June.
It's
what
May.
What month are we in?
Maybe by the time people are watching this, it could be Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Or Christmas.
Who knows? It'll be a day.
It could be Valentine's Day. Mom's Day was just here.
Yeah. How was your Mother's Day?
My Mother's Day was great, man. I
Happy
feel
Mother's
blessed.
Day, by the way.
Thank you very much, man. Your wife had her first Mother's Day. Did you treat her right?
Oh, dude, she got it good. She got to sleep in. I took the kid. We played, fed him, made her breakfast, did the dishes, mowed the lawn, took her shopping.
Wow.
Yeah.
What'd you do after 10 o'clock?
Actually, it seemed like that. Well, then we went out to dinner, and then we came home and chilled.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So it was good.
We are blessed. We are
Yes.
very blessed, and it was a beautiful wet weekend, huh?
Yeah, I mean, hey man, we walked into the Aurora Borealis, right?
Oh man, did you see any of it?
Oh yeah, I got lots of pictures of it. Right out my front door.
Love that.
Yeah, first time ever for me.
Love that.
I was an Aurora Borealis virgin.
Okay. And that's where the cookie crumbles.
Yeah.
So what do you want to talk about today?
Hey.
We got a bunch of stuff on the list here. What do you want to talk about?
You pick it, Brian. You're the expert here.
All right, let's talk about bras.
Okay.
All right.
What's your favorite bra?
Well, I don't know that I have an answer for that one.
Are you talking about bras that are left out?
I'm talking about bras on the floor.
Oh, well, that's probably an easy one to
Okay.
do. Yeah.
Or anything else inappropriate in a house.
Okay.
My favorite. There's been a lot of things I've seen. Some legal, some illegal.
Yeah.
We're in North Idaho. Unfortunately, I've seen guns left out, knives left out. That really frustrates me. The funniest one that I had years and years back, and this started a new tradition for me in walkthroughs and in open houses. So I'm doing an open house downtown, cute little house, 2-bed, 1 bath. I could almost take you to the house. And I've done this open house now. This is like the 3rd time that I'm doing it. My wife comes over. I told her about the house. She walks the house, comes in. She goes, "There's a bra on the floor in the bedroom." And I'm like, oh, like there's people in the house besides my wife looking at the house, and I'm like, what do I do? What? Oh my God! Like, it's a lot easier decision to make when there's no one in the house and you don't have an open house going on.
Yeah.
What to do with that bra?
You don't want to get caught red-handed.
Oh my God! Yeah, imagine like the sellers sent their neighbors over to see what and so that was my.
So what did you do, Brian?
So I just went over and kicked it under the bed. I mean, that's all I could really do.
I gotta be honest with you, that's exactly what I would do. That's exactly what I do. I was thinking about that. But then I'm thinking, I hope the bed frame's open, right? So you can't kick it under the bed. And then let the listing agent know.
Get stuck on your shoe. I mean, there's.
What would the listing agent would say if you said, "Hey, just ran a text message. I was at the unless it's your, if it's somebody else's listing, just a random text message. I kicked the bra under the bed. They'd be like, what?
I text a listing agent one time and said, hey, there's illegal things, and I told him what it was out, and he's like, what? And he calls me and he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, whoever's living in here left this out. And he's like, there's no one living there. And I'm like, well, yeah, there is. There's a toothbrush, there's a razor on the counter, there's someone living in this house.
Oh, dude, hey, I did a showing once, and we were walking through, and it was a multiple. It was like 4 houses for sale, pretty much a half of a city block. And one of the houses were run down. They're like, on it, the listing is just like, don't go in there. It's been known for people, sleeping in there.
Oh.
We walk in, dude's sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, hey, bud, just letting you know, I'm just showing this property. And he reaches, he looks out, and he goes, good morning. I said, hey, don't mind us, go back to sleep. And he throws the covers right back over his head and goes right back to bed.
He's like, I'm used to it.
Yeah, it was, you treat people friendly, they're going to be friendly back to you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think what do you have any go-to script for sellers when they're getting ready to show their house?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, same thing. Hey, when you're getting ready to show your house, keep the house clean, make sure the clutter's picked up. If the house is smelly, I will ask them to provide like a lit candle or something. Or hopefully we've mitigated that altogether. But, I talk to them just about the showings on showing time, how it works, how long of a time do you need in order to get ready for a showing. So that's an important conversation to have. Like, can you just be up and out, or do you need some time? Like, you got 3 kids, 2 dogs.
Yes.
You need some time. So we need to account for that prior, so that way it's not a frustrating situation every time. And I haven't had any issues, besides one time I had a client that didn't leave the house, and it made the listing agent really worried, and she wanted me to come out and open the door for them. I'm like, you're a listing agent, you're a professional, just go knock on the door. Sorry they ain't leaving. There's really nothing I can do about it. I'm 40 minutes away. And that's just it. But no, pretty standard script is hey, just make sure everything's picked up, there's no dirty dishes. Tidy up. If you don't want people to see it, don't have it leave out,
Yep. I start with, okay, you want to make the house look like a hotel room. And by that I mean, when you go into your hotel room,
little soaps on the
only thing you see on the countertop is the little soaps.
Right.
You don't have 47 colognes and towels and magazines and razors, like, it's clean. Yeah. You do have the soap, but everything is clean. And same thing in same thing in the kitchen and everything else. But then I say, put your drugs, guns, and personal items away. And I like to say, start off with drugs. And by then, I've gotten their attention.
Oh, I'm sure you have.
Okay?
I'm sure you have.
And we go, like your medication and things like that. Maybe you're joking around with them, unless you do meth. You did say on the property condition disclosure you weren't cooking it here. No, but the reality of it is,
whoa,
in North Idaho, you have a lot of guns in houses that are hidden in nightstands. Absolutely. That are hidden in possibly you got to understand, I was sharing this with a seller today, and they're like, well, do people come in and trash the house? And I'm like, no. But a little kid could easily grab a wedding ring off your nightstand completely harmlessly, right? And it's I had one time, maybe I shared this already, I was showing my personal house, and I couldn't find the remote when I got home, and all 3 of the remotes when I went to bed were on my nightstand.
Ah, that's funny.
Living room upstairs, living room downstairs, and the bedroom, all 3 of them were right there. Right? Came home one day and found a rubber duck. I don't have kids. It's weird, right?
Yeah. Well, I think another thing is make sure the stove's cleaned out. You know, people are going to be opening up that. They're going to be opening up the dishwasher. They're going to be looking in closets. I mean, the closets are big to buyers and sellers and anybody in the market. They're always going for the closets. Ooh, let's see that. So that's some of the stuff I believe we accomplish before we list, right? You know, one of the things is what do we need to do and what does this house need to look like when it goes on the market? Because when it goes on the market, you should be ready to show constantly.
Ready to go.
Yeah, like the game's not over. This isn't planning time anymore.
Yeah, but we're at next stage.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we were just talking about drugs.
Yeah.
So speaking of drugs,
I don't know anything about drugs.
Highest and best use.
Yeah, what is that?
What's that mean?
I don't know, but you incorporate it with drugs.
You sent it to me and said highest and best use, and I'm like, well, let's do it.
Well, a good example is, let's say you're listing a property that is. Let's say you're listing a house that's set in between two office buildings.
Okay, I'm listing a house in between two office buildings. It's a nice little 2-bed, 1-bath, cute little charmer, picket fence out front.
Commercial zoning.
And to my right, I've got a 3-story office building, and to my left,
I'm sure
barber shop and another one right on top. Okay.
So what is the purpose of highest and best use? Is we need to figure out what's going to bring that house most value, right? And that's going to be its highest and best use. So if it's just a house nestled into a subdivision with other houses, its highest and best use is a residential single family.
Sure.
So the flip side of that is this house, this little scenario we set up, is I'm sure it's happened. Well, the highest and best use obviously wouldn't be that house. It would be a commercial. It would be a commercial building. It would be a place of business. So that would bring the value.
If you got an office building over here and an office building over here, there's a good chance that the rebuild would be an office building.
I guess I made that simple. So I guess, so that there's highest and best use, and that's going to derive the value for that property. That's where the value is, if this is the highest and best use for it. Or even another good example is there's a lot of places out here that are zoned commercial residential. But that doesn't mean that the best use is necessarily just residential, or it's commercial, or it might not even be both. It depends on what's going on around it.
Yeah. We sold one this year that was zoned ag.
Right.
Excuse me. Start of last year. Zoned ag. And, I mean, you can see from the map, from the new light that they just put on Highway 41 on a dead-end road. Like, I mean, it's obvious.
Is that over by the dog food supplier? Was it close to the
Hope
freeway?
Avenue.
Okay, no, not familiar.
No. So, I mean, you could tell this was going to be zone R1 eventually.
Right.
It was a no-brainer.
Right.
So when we looked at this and we gave valuations of it, sure, we could have sold. I think when I first started looking at it, I think my number was around $750, like absolute, because it was a sweet shop. It was essentially a shop with a house in the back. Anyways. Right. It was next level. Most people wouldn't pay for that, but we ended up selling it for 1.2 because we knew the highest and best, and we sat on it for a long time waiting for that too.
Right.
I do have a fun highest and best.
Hit me with it.
Okay, Shoshone County. We're out in the Silver Valley here. Gotcha. Lots of mining claims.
Yeah.
This one was in Wallace, Idaho. It was, I think, up Burt Canyon or very close to Burt Canyon. The house, it had a house and a small, like 24 by 20 foot shop, but it had 7 different lots. Okay.
Tell me more.
Selling them all as one, and within those 7 lots, there was 3 different mining claims.
Yeah.
Okay. So in the Shoshone County, in the Shoshone Valley or county, you see a lot of properties that have mining claims on it. In fact, if you have a property, you probably have a mining claim on it. There's a chance.
Well, you may not. You'd hope so.
From years ago, very possibly, right? So, I mean, there's a lot of residential houses there that have mining claims from them digging, thousands of feet below you. Anyways, so that being said, 7 lots, house. The shop was over like halfway on the second property, and my buyers wrote an offer. As soon as we told the LO, the loan officer, about it, she said, She called me about an hour later. I was out golfing, and she said, Brian, I've got some news for you. I talked to my appraiser because I saw this, and he actually did an appraisal for this already. And he will not appraise at highest and best use for residential on all of the lots.
Oh.
One of the lots he will, the one that the house exists on. But all the other lots, the highest and best use is mining claims.
Right.
So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to write an offer says I buy the house and lot, and these other 6 I'm paying 1 penny for.
Right.
And then it got really complicated because our valuation, remember we had 6, 7, I think this was like 1.5 acres.
Gotcha.
Now it's on 0.12 acre.
Mm-hmm.
It's not waterfront anymore. It's, and our valuation just...
Did you close it?
Nope. We never ended up writing on it because we wouldn't be... At every stretch of imagination we would have had to put to get that in, and we were writing an offer, but my buyers, it was every last dime now because it changed their debt to loan value ratios and how they looked at all of this and everything, and finally they were like, it's not worth it.
Nah,
it's just not worth
let's move on.
Yeah, yep.
That's a good one. Highest best use, and I had something to say, but I forgot what it was. Oh, I was thinking with that could definitely lead into a segue on mineral rights.
Hit me.
No, I don't know enough about it to talk about it. But I'm saying it could. It could.
In Idaho, do you own the mineral rights to your property?
I would assume if somebody else actually owns it, if they actually had sold them a long time ago, you would not.
Correct. Yeah, and that's part of what we were talking about up in Shoshone.
Yeah, because that was my next question. Is was there mineral rights going with the sale of the property?
Right. And so what you will see is you won't see sometimes you will see it included in a mining claim, but you'll see in your title search where X company ABC Mining back in 1907 has subsurface mineral rights to you.
And I've actually seen that in some stuff over in Washington,
on
the Washington side, and they were so old that the title company would ensure that they were no longer in play.
And here, I've talked to title companies about this. If the company has a chain of command or a chain of ownership in which they can still follow,
right?
They still have to. You can't just automatically wash that off,
right?
But if ABC Mining Company dissolved in 1935 and has no successors or anything else like that, didn't sell the problem is over in Shoshone, a lot of people sold their stuff to Lucky Friday, Sunshine, some of the bigger ones. Because they're paying them, pennies on the dollar.
Right.
For them. They're like, hey, we'll buy that for nothing. Super cheap.
Right.
Water rights. Water rights are a fun one here, too. Maybe we'll dive into that another day.
Yeah. Yeah, because
Did you get the pun?
Water rights, we'll dive into that another day.
There it is. Yeah. There it is.
It's been a long day for me. You're on it.
All right.
You're on a kick.
Well, one of us is. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you got anything else you want to talk about? Because I got a good one here for us.
Well, is that going to take up...
We got plenty of time.
All right, hit us with it.
Proper use and importance of buyer feedback.
Woo!
So you've just gone through the house.
Yeah.
And your buyers think it smells like cat pee.
Mm-hmm.
And didn't care for the downstairs layout.
Yeah, I think the bigger picture is the cat pee right there, right off the bat, right?
Boom.
Start
there.
Didn't care for the downstairs layout isn't really much of a... I mean, it's feedback, but it's not really given to the seller. The seller can't do anything about that, right? Now, they can do something about the cat pee.
Yeah.
But they can't change... I mean, they could, in theory...
It might even be something to do with staging, depending on, I threw that out there, but yeah, absolutely, you can do something about the cat pee and should do something about the cat pee.
You know, for new agents out there, that could be a time where it's difficult to give this information to your seller, right? Let's say you get a really bad feedback and it's like, man, how am I supposed to approach this? Well, it's the best thing you can do is give them that feedback and go over it. You know, hey, you have to be able to check their emotions while you go through it, but this is the feedback that is so important for them to get in order for them to come to a realization what they need to do in the process of selling their house. Because if the feedback is bad, say cat pee, right? That's a big one. Okay, well, that gives them an opportunity to do something about it, right? And if it's just price, well, it's not you telling them that it's price. You probably already did the get-go when you gave them your CMA, and that's where you wanted to list it. But now this is a really good tool for you to help them get to where they need to go, and that is what? Sell the property. That's the number one objective. So at the end of the day, that feedback is so critical, especially if it's negative, or even if it's positive to a certain degree, but there's no offers on the table. That's going to help drive a different situation or a different action from your sellers.
Ultimately, it helps the sellers.
Absolutely.
And if you're a buyer's agent and you think, I don't care about the sellers, you're wrong.
Right.
Because eventually you're going to have sellers.
Right.
And then you're going to have the buyer's agents that don't give you the feedback.
Right.
I have a horrible sense of smell. I have taken listings
right.
where I didn't know that they smoked in the house before.
Right. Oh, wow.
Yes.
No kidding.
Yes, I got back to the office.
You can't smell cigarette smoke?
It depends. I mean, you know,
Dang,
time of year, and I mean, I
I've
get
never
really
been in your
pumped
house.
up.
I wonder what your house smells like.
And me too. But yeah, I got back to the office one time, and my manager, the office manager, was like, "You reek," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Are you kidding me? Oh my god!" And that also affects price.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, who?
So not only that, but sometimes your seller shifts. We're all human.
Yeah.
We're going through an emotional point in our life, and you may not know, especially if there's tenants involved. We had one where the showings were great for months.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, we were doing showings right around Christmas time. I think I told you about this when we were talking about tenants and how to motivate them. And the showing quality level just dropped out.
Right.
They left clothes all over the house. The house smelled like boop boop. And at that juncture in time, the seller needs to make a decision of, do I kick this person out? Do I have these conversations? Do I buy them a Glade plug-in, incentivize them?
Right.
You know, do I just sell it as, hey, this house smells like boop boop. Here's your price.
You ever get the feedbacks where you just like, you're itching and you just know this is all the agent? Like, this is just the agent.
Yep.
Like, I really firmly believe, hey, this is where I need to ask my clients, what do you think? And you'll get a feedback notification pretty quick after you do it. Even if you don't, call my clients, say, hey, what do you think about 123 Main Street? Tell me what your thoughts are. And I like to write in the comments. Here's in the comment section. Here's their real concern with it. Love the home, you know, didn't care much for the cat pee, but it wasn't, you know, they could have tolerated the cat pee for a little less price, you know, for lower end price, you know, something like that. But that's the feedback that the sellers need and the buyers should be giving.
Yep.
That's our job. Plus, it helps us because we're like, man, I didn't catch that as they're going through the house. But now that they said this, now I need to refocus for them.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and we're in shifting markets, so you as an agent may not realize sometimes, I mean, that this is happening. You go, oh, this is what we definitely need in this market. Like, for a while there, right around north of Rathdrum, where they didn't have hardly any internet, and we're getting people coming in 2020 that needed internet like highly bad, and you're like, this was never a thought beforehand, but now this actually raises the value because you've got optic right here. So
as long as it ain't
Ziply, go bye-bye.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Smash the like button.
Hit it.
There's another good episode here with Brian K. and Kyle A.
Peace.
Contrast.